Go ahead, Doug.
Yes, I support the minimum tax levy, but I would ask the council to consider whether the people of Roslyn, who includes some very, very wealthy people, ought to be paying the lowest property taxes anywhere in Kittitas County, and if that's really a good a good public policy for a city of our kind. And I'm surprised that this issue has never come up. We have many needs, and yet we are starving ourselves, paying taxes way below the median in the county, the lowest property tax rate of any city in the county. That's not the question before you with respect to the minimum tax, but it does provide the context. A 1% increase, I think, how many cups of coffee did you say that would cover? I'm sure it didn't come up, but it's not very many.
In the past, it's been a latte at Starbucks. One.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot the standard. Thank you.
This is Jeff Adams. Is this the maximum that we can raise it without a levy?
That is correct.
Okay. And I think we discussed looking at possible levies down the road in our admin committee through a few different, whether it be property tax, B&O tax, or some of these others. So I think we continue these conversations in admin. I've brought up this point about property taxes multiple times. So let's continue these conversations as we move into next year and people come out of their financial hole after COVID. Because I think let alone we have some wealthy people in town, it also burdens people that are just getting by. So admin group, I think we should continue talking what levies we look for down the road and what increases make the biggest impact.
I agree.
Is there any other public hearing on this subject before I close it and ask for a motion? I think, well, I close the public hearing now, and I agree with Councilmember Adams and Councilmember Cook and really all of you that we certainly could increase the property tax above the 1% that we take every year. And it probably is time. It seems like we talk about this every year since I've been mayor, so 4 different years now. So admin, let's put that together, and then we can reach out to the county about putting a ballot item on outside of a November ballot.
That'd be great. I'd like to
With that said, though, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to pass the 1% property tax increase into 2022.
I'll second.
Any further discussion here, Council?
Is this the first public hearing? It might need 2.
This one only needs 1.
I'll vote yes.
Okay. All in favor of the 1% property tax levy increase, say aye.
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 Aye. Anyone opposed, say nay in your name, please. Last up for the evening, can I get a motion to authorize staff and myself to purchase or get bids and whatnot, or just purchase the chlorine gas emergency set-off installation for our chlorine injection at the treatment plant?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion on this, Council?
Nope, I think it's great. It's about time we upgraded that system. Let's move forward.
Okay, all in favor of purchasing the chlorine gas shutdown system, please say aye.
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 Aye. Anybody opposed, say nay in your name. Okay, Council, let's do the concerns and initiatives. I don't have anything. Go ahead.
So this is Tom. I'll jump in first. Mayor, thanks for scheduling that meeting next week. I know everybody's busy, but for this new council person that's not up to speed on everything that's happened before, it's going to be very helpful. So I appreciate that. Then I was going to ask, on the agenda was I think, an update on the water system plan update, but did we miss that or somehow?
No,
was
I
gonna ask
decided to
about-
push it off.
Okay.
We'll just do
Uh,
it in 2 weeks. We'll just do it in 2 weeks.
Okay, and
He
then,
can give it right now. He can give it right now if you guys want it.
no, I was just curious, Mayor. I mean, it was on the
No,
agenda.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people snickering in the background.
Oh, we'll hear about it next meeting, Mayor.
Sounds like a plan.
Continued snickering. Disgusting.
And then the last thing I was going to bring up is, and so not to sound like a bug, but and I know that we're moving, but I want to make sure the base camp sidewalk gets on the agenda, continues to move forward so that when the weather changes next year, we can get that done and get it off our plate so we don't have to think about it again.
Here you go. Tom, let's have Theo address that right now.
Yeah, Theo Leonard again with Grant Civil Services. Originally that came back up at one of the previous Public Works Committee meetings because I walked out there with Bubba and Michelle to the base camp sidewalk and could pretty much feel that I could fall through that sidewalk. So that's when we put that plywood up. That's when I started pushing real hard. We need to get that squared away. It's one thing to have like a leak at the clear well. It's a whole other thing to have a safety hazard like that. So we went through the motions per council's recommendation of going out to bid again, and we tried to put a lot more detail into the bid, and we just didn't get anything back. So what I did is I reached out to one of the local private contractors, and right now I'm trying to see if I can't get a bid out of them. As much as anything, from a real high level, there's the chance that we may be able to build those wells off-site, bring them in and install them just like you would a catch basin or a manhole. But it's a tricky project because there's a structural component to it. It kind of potentially very much limits the contractors that could tackle that thing. So I'm trying to go through the motions to get a very serious hard bid if we can. If we can, then as much as anything, we'll have that discussion about what those costs look like and can we absorb those? Are they more than what we have in the budget? How could we cover that? On the other hand, if we can't get a bid, at this point, we've pretty much exhausted kind of all our alternatives or avenues. If we cannot get a bid, that's when we'll look at, in my view, fill those in, get a nice sidewalk on. So that's essentially the approach, is that if we can get a bid and work it out, we're going to move forward, getting it squared away, just like what the city originally agreed to with the business owner. If not, then we absolutely have a responsibility as the city to fix that safety hazard.
So I realize it's a thorny problem, and the standard process of going to bid has not been successful now 3 times, and but this is the first I heard that the design solution is being deemed infeasible. There was some discussion about trying to form some sort of hybrid contract, public-private. I have heard from others that the solution that's on the approved plans is feasible. So if it's infeasible and has to go somewhere else, I guess I'd like to know more about that.
That's the part. When we get some feedback for the other contractors that didn't bid on it at all, when we put it out to public bid, we never had that discussion with any of them about what might be going on there. For this new one, if we get a hard bid for it, that's the thing. I don't want to make it sound infeasible at all. It's a lot more about if we can actually find a contractor to do it for an affordable price. That's kind of where the practicality comes in, what we're running up against.
Theo, Theo, this is Jeff Adams. So I got a little taken back by the comment on infeasible. So, because obviously it's a very doable project engineer-wise. I think, are you speaking to the precast application might be the difficult way to look at it? Is that what you're speaking to, rather than in-place installation of the structural element of the well?
Yes, you can probably picture,
Okay.
Jeff, the difference between getting down in a 5-foot hole and trying to cast and build the frames and deal with that window well, with essentially building the thing off-site, coming in, dropping it in, epoxy and CDF as you need,
Yep.
That's essentially the real high-level approach that we're trying to essentially work out. But we'll see. It's complicated because the one contractor I know could do it because of the structural component. You have to have insurance for that. It's a completely different type of contract. We're trying to get help on that front, but I think there's the possibility that we're either not going to get a bid or it's going to be more than the budget, and we can just have that discussion then. But we are trying to move.
No, that's great.
We're definitely trying to move forward and tackle it. We're working very hard to try to hold on to whatever kind of handshake agreement was originally worked out. But ultimately, kind of the bottom line for me is we have to get that squared away.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a very constructible project, obviously in place if you could find a contractor that wants to build it in place. So that, I just wanted to make sure that was clarified on what the challenge was, if it was a pre-construction structural element getting set, which has not been discussed. And I've been through these engineered drawings from day one, and it's definitely constructible, but obviously trying to find somebody that's willing to construct it within the hole itself. So could you please keep me in contact as you move forward with this project or the contractor, so I can sort of keep track of how it's moving forward?
Well, absolutely. As soon as, if we're able to squeeze a bit out of them, I'll share it first thing first. And if not, I'm still going to see if they potentially have any other referrals or, we start to run out of contractors pretty quick here, so.
Yeah, most of them are busy for 2022 already in the business is what we're finding out is everybody's pretty much already had their year full. And it's a challenging project no matter what, there's no doubt. Okay, well, thank you, Theo. Just wanted to clarify sort of how the unconstructability of what we are looking at is really just the pre-construction setting it. And also, Brent Halls, thank you for putting a meeting together next week. I appreciate that. I know some of us have had phone call discussions on the budget, and I think it'd be great that we all get together and with public, if they can make it, and have these discussions to have a nice, clear path forward for 2022 and lots of success. So thank you.
So this is Kathy. My concern is, we've known since early October that we were losing our treasurer, and we haven't had a treasurer since the end of October. And I know that Michelle has contacted the Daily Record at least twice to get an employment ad in the Daily Record. I don't know what's going on with them, but I've got like all the papers here since October 12th, and there has been no employment ad in the Daily Record, which is our large newspaper in Kittitas County. So I'm not saying anything's happening at City Hall that shouldn't be happening. I wonder what's going on at the Record. I'd really like to, Michelle told me today that we actually have enough applications at this point from the Association of Washington Cities online employment ads, but I would suggest that we give the Record another try and get their attention, because I think it'd be a really good thing to have a treasurer who was here in Kittitas County. So that's my request. Can we give it one more try, please?
Yeah, Kathy, that's fine. It sounds like since the confusion occurred, the Daily Record actually refunded our money. So we can run another ad. I can say that I believe that we've gotten requests for applications from maybe 6 or 8 people. I've interviewed one person already. I want to take the diligence here and make sure I get the right candidate to bring in. But the lack of people seeing the job seems to have gone away. I don't know if it was the fact that staff got it in the WorkSource site as well as the AWC, but the increase in attention has been 100-fold in the last 2 weeks. So it's $300 to go back to the Daily Record. Really, to be honest, I think I'd rather get through all the applications that I will get and then do more interviews and then see if we need to further reach out to the Record. I should know by Monday, so I'll have more to say about this at the meeting on Tuesday, let's say. Anything else, council?
Nolan, do your thing.
I just want to make sure that there was nothing else. I did the last meeting and don't want to cut anybody off. Thanks, Mayor, for having the meeting for next Tuesday. Make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.